Dear listeners, thank you for supporting us with your subscription. Enjoy watching. Inger and Sergey met in their fourth year to Technical University. Sergey had moved there that year from another city. His father died in the summer. His mother was left alone, and he decided to move close to her. They fell in love, as they say, at first sight. They got married in December. And 9 months later, Inga gave Sergey a son. Sergey helped his young wife as much as he could. He washed diapers and cooked food when Inger was with a baby. He got up at night to let Inger sleep and rest from the eternally screaming baby. Sometimes at night, Sergey worked as a longshoreman in a supermarket because money is never in short supply, especially for students. Once in a fit of passion, he told Inger, "If you ever betray me, I have nothing to live on." Inger remembered his words for the rest of her life. They graduated from university at different times. First, Sergey, and 3 years later, Inga. Sergey was lucky. He got a job at a big factory and became chief engineer by the age of 40. Inga's success was more modest, but she also had a good job with an advertising company. I have to say that the 20 years they lived together only strengthened their marriage. Inga had blossomed by the time she was 40. She eventually turned into a charming green-eyed woman who was admired by men. Sergey was not macho, but had the discreet masculine appearance, which is so full in love with the opposite sex. So that the attention of the better half of humanity, he was not deprived. Living together, they never gave reason to doubt their loyalty to each other. The years they lived together only strengthened their feelings. And the future seemed happy and unclouded to them. Their son was in his 4th year of college and was preparing to become an engineer just like his parents. For about a year he had been dating a girl, and to all appearances, things were moving steadily towards marriage. It all started when her best friend Marina called her one morning in early December. Her life was not going well, but she did not hesitate to lecture and give advice to India. Inger listened patiently, but never took her seriously. "Hi, girlfriend. Marina has always almost shouted into the tube, so I had to keep it away from your ear. Well, when will you show off your new clothes?" "I do not understand what new clothes," surprised Inger asked. "Why? Yours did not give you anything." Marina's voice sounded disappointment. "I saw him a week ago in a jewelry store. He was buying some kind of jewelry. I thought he wanted to give you a present." "No. He didn't give me anything like that." Inger wondered. It is strange if a husband buys his wife a gift, he gives it to her right away. Marina said, "But yours is slowing down. Maybe he's got a woman on the side." "Okay. Don't worry. Bye." Marina hung up. Inger put her cell phone on the table. Really strange. If Sergey bought something, she would know. Maybe Marinka made a mistake. She finished her coffee and began to get ready for work. Running past the jewelry store, she suddenly decided to go there unexpectedly. Behind the counter, a young woman was standing and was looking intently at something in the shop window. Inger excused herself and told a heartbreaking story about how her husband had given her a piece of jewelry. She did not know exactly what kind. So she had to speak in a streamlined manner, and she could not figure out what metal it was made of. The story which told Inger was sewn with white thread, but the girl wrinkled her forehead. "A week ago, tall, handsome, middle-aged brown hair? I remember him coming in a few times." "You must mean the ring." "Well, it's platinum and a real diamond." She named the price and Inger's eyes went black. The amount was enormous. Thanking the saleswoman, Inger left the store. Sergey had never given her this kind of gift. Where did he get such money, and for whom he bought this ring? Maybe there really is a mistress. Inger imagined for a moment Sergey in the arms of another woman. She felt sick to her stomach. She felt resentment and rage seething in her chest, but she pulled herself together, leaving the showdown for tonight. After Inga came home from work, she cooked dinner. Her resentment and anger at her husband did not subside but became even stronger. Finally, Sergei came. As usual, he kissed his wife and holding her in his arms whispered, "You're more charming than ever today." Inga almost choked with rage, but pulled herself together. Sergei went to the bathroom, and Inga took his cell phone out of his jacket. So suspicious calls do not seem to be. Among the messages, she found a reminder from the bank about the monthly repayment of the loan taken a month ago. Clearly, that's where the money for the ring came from. She opened a telegram. She was electrocuted a new and deleted draft of a message sent to Summerlena. "Beloved, thank you for your love and patience. How I love your eyes, your hair, your hands. You are everything to me and even more. You are the one for whom I began to live and breathe. I'm ready to carry you in my arms for the rest of my life." Inger couldn't read any further. Tears were covering her eyes. Her hands trembled. She shoved the phone back into her husband's jacket pocket because she was afraid it would fall out of her hands. The world collapsed. What was left was emptiness. Life had lost its meaning. Only one thing revolved in her head. Why did he do this to me? That there was a mistress she no longer doubted. And she had been for a long time, apparently. The gift he had given her was too expensive. Such gifts as this damn ring do not give casual girlfriends. Sergei came out of the bathroom. "Sweetheart, let's go to dinner." He wiped my wet hair and went into the kitchen. "What do we have today? What do you indulge? Eek without me." Inger could not look at him. "I don't feel well. I'm going to lie down." Sergei asked for a long time what happened, trying to help. But from such hypocrisy and gauteur spurted from her eyes, she slammed the door to the bedroom, offering her husband to sleep in the hall on the couch. Sergei tried to question her, stood under the door for a long time, but then gave up and left for the kitchen. Inger felt so bad that she bit the corner of the pillow, so she wouldn't howl in pain and despair. She did not fall asleep until morning. Sergei did not wake her up and left early for work. Inger called her director and took the day off, citing her illness. She called Marinka and asked her to come over. She needed someone to talk to. "What a dog," Marina said with some secret admiration. 20 years pretending to be a loving husband. They are all bastards. They only want one thing. She sympathized with Inger, but it was obvious that in her heart, she was gloating. But Inger did not notice anything. She sat on the stool and swayed from side to side, moaning softly. "And you teach him a lesson. Make him feel the same pain. You're a young, beautiful girl. Get yourself a man and have a good time. Cheat on him right on the matrimonial bed. You'll see immediately it will be easier." Marina even flushed with excitement. India looked up at her tear-stained red eyes. "And what and cheat? Let this goat know how it hurts." She added a few unflattering epithets about the scoundrel husband. Her cell phone beeped. Sergei called. "My dear, our neighbors had become an urgent business. I am afraid that we will be busy till the evening. I won't be going home tonight, but I will come tomorrow at about 11 o'clock. Kisses. Don't miss me." What a hypocritical bastard. Inger gasped at her insolence. He's going to his mistress again. All right. He'll be surprised. Inger was not even going to hide her future betrayal from her husband. After escorting Marinka out, she called Stas. They worked together and he had long been trying to woo her, making no ambiguous hints. Inga had always rejected them, but now the time had come. They arranged for 10 p.m. at Inga's house. She called him under the pretext that a program in her laptop broke, and Stas promised to take a look. Inger set the table, took a bath, dressed frankly, and waited for the candidate for lover. Stas came exactly at the appointed time. He brought flowers, a bag of fruit, and 2 bottles of wine. They sat down at the coffee table laid right in the bedroom, and the romantic dinner began. Inga entered her glass over and over again with a kind of frenzy, trying to forget herself. She did not remember how Stas undressed her and how they ended up in bed. She came to her senses as her lover kissed her breasts. What already? She asked and thought to herself. I'm being an idiot. Of course, you're gorgeous. Stas pressed her to him. Are you sure your husband won't come tonight? He's not mine. She grumbled, her anger flooding back into her. No. He's busy tonight too. She glanced at the clock across the bed. It was 2:30 in the morning. Stas got up and went to take a shower. Inga lying back on the pillows. Stas was worse than her husband in every way, and for some reason, she suddenly wished that now it was Sergey in his place. She even squeezed her eyes shut. Her heart began to ache, but the holy revenge was done. Suddenly, she heard. Inga's throat went dry with excitement. Sergey wanted to say something, but at that time, Stas came out of the bathroom. Seeing her husband, he covered his belongings with his hands and made his way sideways to the clothes thrown on the floor. Sergey remained standing on the threshold of the bedroom. There was a dim light in the room, and he could clearly see his wife's naked body on the bed. The husband looked silently at Inga and her lover. And there was so much pain in his gaze that Inga could not stand it. It was as if she burst. She began to shout at him about her ruined life, about her lover, about her rights too. The accusations were monstrous and ridiculous. Inga understood this very well, and she screamed even harder because of it. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw Stas grabbing his clothes and slipping past Sergey to the exit. Inga became hysterical. Sergey silently walked to the kitchen, filled a glass with water, put it on the bedside table with the remains of a romantic dinner, then, without saying a word, he turned and left. When the front door slammed, Hinge was silent. There was no point in screaming and hysterics anymore. She remembered the unseeing, full of pain look of her husband, and wrapped in a sheet came to the window. She was clearly visible as Sergey came out of the entrance, staggered like a drunkard under the rattling light of the yard lamp, and disappeared into the darkness. She could not fall asleep that night. Had she felt better? She could not yet know. There was a kind of ringing emptiness around her. Her legs and arms were disobedient. Her thoughts were confused. She tried to convince herself that she had done the right thing. In the morning, Marinka called. Are you all right? I'll be right there. When Marina came into the apartment, Inga was sitting in the kitchen. Something, you friend, do not look good. Marina put the bag on the floor. Your door is unlocked. Let's have a coffee. Hinger was silent. No thoughts. Only her eyes began to fill with tears again. Well, did you kick her out? Marina poured hot coffee into the cups. He left by himself. Hinger told in a few words about the night events. She did it correctly. Marina sipter hot coffee. Inger looked up opposite on the wall hanger calendar. Today's date was circled in red felt tip pen. December 6, wedding anniversary. 20 years exactly. That made it all the more painful. How could he? The doorbell rang. He's here. You bastard. Now he will crawl on his knees. Marina put the cup down. Shall I open it? Sit down. I'll do it. Inga began to boil again. But when she opened the door, she didn't see her husband. Two young men stood in front of her. Inger, it's for you. One of the young men put a large basket of her favorite white roses in front of her. Congratulations on your wedding anniversary, said the other, and gave her the receipt. Sign for the delivery. All the best. Ingram mechanically carried the basket into the kitchen and silently put it on the table. White roses were her favorite flowers. Every anniversary Sergey gave her such a bouquet. Suddenly she saw an envelope among the flowers. Inside was a box trimmed with red velvet and a card. From the foreboding of irreparable misfortune, Inka's heart squeezed. She tried to read the card. but the letters came apart and overlapped each other. Marina read it. She held out the card to her friend. Darling, thank you for your love and patience. How I love your eyes, your hair, your hands. You are everything and more to me. You are the one for whom I began to live and breathe. I'm ready to carry you in my arms for the rest of my life. Happy anniversary to us. Always your Sergey. Marina pressed her palm to her mouth and frighteningly looked at Inga. Inga opened the box, already guessing what was in it. A massive platinum ring with a diamond in which the daylight reflected. On the inside of the ring, the engraving "to Inger from Sergey" was clearly visible. Inger tried to get up, but her legs wouldn't listen to her. She grabbed her cell phone and dialed the very unknown number from her husband's phone. The other end answered quickly, as if they were specifically waiting for the call. A woman's voice said, "Cactus Print Studio. My name is Elena. Hello, Inger." Disconnected the phone. Her feelings were gone. There was only unbearable pain. The ground was leaving her feet. She already understood everything. Your Sergey is not going anywhere. He will come as a sweetheart. Marina tried to reassure her friend. Inger suddenly remembered her husband's words. If you ever betray me, I have no reason to live anymore. He won't come again. She looked at Marina with inflamed eyes. Never. Her eyelashes fluttered, and it was as if she broke in an instant. She looked down, retreated, fell on